Hi folks, welcome back to Math with Captain Rod. The purpose of this video is to discuss the chain rule of differentiation. So in order to understand the chain rule, it's important to understand what composition of functions mean. So if I make up a couple of functions here like y equals x squared and another function g of x is equal to sine x, I'm just picking a couple functions off the top of my head. These functions can be combined a lot, different ways. One of them is what's called, again, a composition of functions. And I'm going to write down what f of g of x would be. So what this means is f of g of x means you're inputting g of x into f for x. So if I do that, that's going to be equal to sine x, the quantity, squared. If we looked at g of f of x, that means we're going to put f of x into g of x for x. So that's going to be equal to sine of x squared. Now, I'm going to just pick one of these, the first one here, and I'm just going to give it a name. Y equals sine of x squared, which normally would be written sine squared x, like so. We're talking about now differentiation of this function. When we differentiate this function, remember there's two functions here because this is the composition of f and g. Both functions have to be differentiated. The way you do that is you either start outside and work in, or you can differentiate inside and work out. In the 25 years since I've taken calculus, I've never met a person that differentiates inside out. This is one of the very few things in life I just tend to go with the standard convention of differentiating outside in. So, as I take a look at this and I think of this function, if I think about x as the input, the inner function would be the sine function, because the first thing that would have to happen is the sine of x would have to be taken, and then that product would be squared. So the square is the outer function. When we differentiate this thing, we differentiate the outside function first. In this example, the outer function is the square function. So you can think of it as something being squared. When you differentiate that, we're going to bring down the 2 times the sine x to the first power. That has now, the outer function, the square part, has been differentiated. Now we move in and differentiate the inside function, which is times cosine x. So that's an example of how you apply the chain rule. You identify the different types of functions and then differentiate them outside in. I think I'll stop this video here and just make up a separate video for the examples. Have a great day.